stars, this is Gwendolyn. Welcome to June 2016. This is your monthly Tarotscope for Aries. I'm just going to shuffle the cards and we'll get right into what's going on for Aries for June 2016. Just want to say welcome to the channel if it's your first time, or welcome back if you're returning. So for Aries, June 2016, let's see what we've got coming up. Looks like at the opening of the month, you've got some stuff going on with decision making, Aries. And with Chariot in the reverse position, it's saying that you may be having a hard time trusting your decision making skills. Chariot is a card of control. It's a card of domination and victory and winning the race and relying on your intuition to know what's going to get you to the finish line. So when Chariot shows up in reverse, as it is here, it means that you're not either following your intuition or you're not trusting your intuitive ability to make decisions. So it says that, you know, it might just be a time when you need to kind of have more faith in yourself, or that you need to hold off on making decisions, on trying. It can also be that trying to control a situation. It's saying that things might feel a little bit out of control right now, or that you don't have full control on it. When Chariot shows up in the upright position, it means having a handle on things, relying on your intuition to make good decisions, knowing when to turn left, knowing when to turn right. So when it's showing up here, it's talking about your decision making, but in the reverse position, it's saying that there might be some doubt or fear that's coming into play, in which case your decision-making isn't at its finest, or you're not at your peak level of decision-making right now. So I'd say hold off on that at the beginning of June. You actually have some nice Wands cards coming up here, and then this card is Justice. So Justice means clear thinking and a verdict being rendered and a judgment being made. So I would say if at the beginning of the opening of June, if you're not feeling clear in your decision making, there will be a verdict rendered for you. A decision that is external will be made. And this is on the side of the truth, because Justice holds up the sword that represents truth, the one great truth, and then she's also holding a balance, which means doing things in a fair and equitable way. And justice in general means a rendering of a verdict. So things will be decided, you know, probably by the first week of June. If you're having trouble making a decision on something, that's often what Chariot in reverse can say. Then just wait until, you know, just still within the first third of the month, within the first 10 days, but towards the latter part of the first 10 days. And then also during the first week, you have 2 of Wands and 6 of Wands showing up. And this is a card, just like Chariot is, 6 of Wands is a card of victory and success. So again, I'm showing that as showing up sort of later in the first third of the month, when success is coming when this verdict is rendered, and it's sort of towards the last part of the first third of the month. So like within around, you know, if the first third is 1 through 10, then this is coming at the later part of that. And this has to do with connecting with your own personal power. 2 of Wands is going on a spiritual journey and connecting with your own personal power, your own boldness, feeling like you've got the world in the palm of your hands, or feeling like the world is your oyster. And if you're not feeling your own personal power or the connection to your own boldness, your decision-making, your intuition, both of these are kind of 2 cards where you're weighing something. You can see that this is very much about left brain versus right brain, you know, the logical, analytical mind versus the passionate, abstract mind. So with that being called into question, there's a way in which you need to find that balance. This is also a 2 card, so weighing things, but you know, between 2 poles, 2 polarities. And this card I always mention has a mentor in it. It's someone who's there to help and support you. So it may be that through getting help and support, that's where you come into your personal power. That is where you realize your own boldness. You're willing to go on that journey. You're willing to recognize the opportunities before you. So I'm going to say at the beginning of the month, if you're having difficulty making a decision on something, be open to receiving the help with that. And you could also be, sometimes this card is looked at as like the knight in shining armor, the guy who rides in on the white horse, the rescuer. So you could have some help or support, but either way, this is success. You could see the wreath of laurels, which is also victory. And this is the verdict rendered that is in alignment with the truth. So see what you can do to open yourself. There's basically a progression here at the first part of the month, Aries, of feeling unsure, connecting with your personal power, then having success that's in alignment with the truth. And potentially with some help, either from a mentor, Sherpa type person, or someone who comes riding in on the white horse that also represents success. So then towards the middle of the month, Aries, I have Hermit in reverse, which can mean the lower side of Hermit. When Hermit shows up in reverse, it can mean the lower side of Hermit, which means it can show up as loneliness or feeling isolated, feeling like you're not connected with outer society, feeling like you're kind of up in the mountains, up by yourself. But I'm seeing this whole row here for you in reverse. It's Chariot, Hermit, and then Four of Swords. What it says to me when Hermit and Four of Swords show up like this together, Hermit and Four of Swords kind of have a similar meaning in the sense that Hermit separates himself off from society and he wants to just look at the truth, find out, strip away all the excess, all the mundane things of the world, and just look at what's true, like the bottom line of truth with a capital T, I call it. And Four of Swords is the soldier who participates in the world, but he's taking a time out. And he's participating in R&R, like rest and relaxation. He's gaining strength to fight another day. So this is a card of taking a time out. In some ways, this is a card of taking a time out from the world, too. With these two things in reverse, and in alignment with Chariot here, it's saying that you may have some resistance or fear about taking a time out and looking about what's really true for you. So see if you can get past any fears or doubts that you might have about doing that. It's going to help you with your decision-making skills that's showing up here. And this card, too, is about listening to your inner guidance, your inner strength. So the Moon card it can mean a number of different things. Sometimes it means illusion because things aren't showing up as they really are. Like the moon is actually a reflection of the sun's light. It doesn't actually give off its own light. So it's finding balance. We can see the wolf and the dog here. Finding balance between that wild side and the domesticated side. The side that wants to be rebellious or passionate. And the side that is domesticated, wants to follow order, law, and structure. Kind of like this. Kind of like the two horses that show up here, the white horse and the dark horse. It's similar to the dog and the wolf that show up here, but there's a third character in this card that I think is going to be beneficial to you, Aries, and that is allowing this scorpion or this crab that's coming up from the emotional depths, which is represented by the water here, to come up under the soft light of the moon and aid in any decision making that you need to make between what's real, what's not real, what's illusion, what's truth. If you allow what's coming up from your subconscious mind to sort of bubble up to the surface here and acknowledge it, to shine some light on it, that's going to help you with decision making. That's going to help you have some discernment about what's true, what's real, and what's not real, what's illusion. I'm seeing, too, interestingly, in this line for you, in this column, that we've got this pearl here that represents having the world in the palm of your hands, connecting with your own personal power. And then the moon here, which it can represent illusion and not seeing things clearly. This is a card of haziness of not seeing things by the light of day. The light is obscured a little bit. You have to really rely more on your subconscious and emotional element to function with this card the best. And then I see 2 here. It means this card is it means like victim mentality or feeling powerless because of your beliefs. So what I'm going to say with these 3 in alignment, Aries, is that be careful that you don't believe in things that you convince yourself of. It's going to end you up in a place where you feel powerless. And swords always represent our beliefs. So she's surrounded here by her beliefs. And that's the only thing that's keeping her in prison. She's actually free to walk away. There's nothing actually that's enclosing her, but it's her beliefs that are keeping her stuck. So be careful too in June, Aries, that you don't convince yourself of your own power, that you believe things that are false and that end up putting you in a position of feeling enclosed or trapped through believing that. You need to be willing to engage in some of this hermit energy that's showing up for you, which is separating yourself off from society and considering what is really true for you. This lantern represents the light of the truth that the hermit seeks after and then eventually holds up for everyone to see. So I would say there's something going on here in the middle of the month about acknowledging truth, being on the lookout for it, but in some ways you're kind of... With Hermit in reverse, it says there's kind of some doubt or fear about finding out the truth. And Moon says the potential for believing in illusions or trying to assess what is true, trying to ascertain what's real and what's not real. Your gut feeling is really going to be the way to go here in the middle of the month, Aries. That crab, that scorpion that's coming up from the depths of the waters here is a good guideline for you in the middle of the month when you're trying to ascertain things. And then judgment here, it's funny, this is what's going to allow you to make a judgment about something. You've got a lot of cards having to do with judgment, verdicts, and decisions. Chariot about decisions. Justice is about, obviously, justice and a verdict. And judgment is not only about our own judgment or judgments being made on us, it's also a card about releasing judgment, and in some ways, the final judgment is when all the souls... It's one of those cards that just means that everything is lining up. This represents you, Aries, in sort of sitting in this wreath of laurels, sitting in this place of victory and possibility. This is also a completion of a cycle, and it means feeling free. It means feeling like the world is coming together and supporting you. It's literally when the 4 poles of the zodiac all line up. We see Leo and Aquarius, and then also Scorpio and Taurus here, all in alignment. And it's like finding your place in the universe and in a celebratory way, and when the universe is like conspiring to help you. So even if it's in the reverse position, this may be that you don't see how you're going to get here, or that you don't see how this is available to you, or you may have fears or doubts about how that could be possible, but it's showing up for you, Aries. So try to remove any fears that you have about accessing that kind of wonderful freedom, fulfillment, all the good things of the universe coming together to support you. I think that through letting go of something from the past, employing the forgiveness inherent in this judgment card and letting the ghosts of the past, releasing them, is going to help you to get to this and help you to unlock whatever fears, doubts, disbelief you have about actually achieving this. So, and then towards the end of the month, again, it's important to allow yourself to have time for rest and recuperation. This is that 4 of Swords card, which means resting and, becoming strong for another day. When it's in the reverse position, it means you may not be allowing that for yourself. It may be something that you need, but you don't see how you can do it. You don't think you can, you don't think it's going to help you, but you actually do need to engage in some 4 of Swords energy, which is R&R, rest, relaxation, taking a time out taking a pause from the rest of the world. This is showing victim mentality, like we talked about before. Eight of Swords means the way that you're thinking, your belief system that's surrounding you, which is symbolized by these swords, is not serving you. It's trapping you. It's enclosing you. So see what it is that you can do to release, like kick down these swords or get rid of them. Or cut away your binds from them and realize that the strength of your own power. This whole column is really about connecting with your own power and not believing falsehoods that are related to it. The end of the month looks awesome for you, Aries. I mean, you've got High Priestess showing up. She makes decisions based on her intuition. You can see these two columns here. Those are the pillars of Solomon's temple that, connect to the Akashic realm, and that's what the scroll represents here. It's hidden information, and she has access to the mysteries and the knowledge of the subconscious or the unconscious world. And you can see these crescents represent intuition, connecting with her moon, the moon energy. It's what also is driving Chariot. You can see the crescents on his shoulders and on his wand. That's how he connects with his intuition, but where it was in reverse at the beginning of the month, by the end of the month, you're trusting yourself. You're trusting your intuition, and therefore you have access to hidden information because it's coming from within. It's coming from things that you just simply know. And that actually opens up a whole new world for you. An ace is always a new beginning. Ace of Cups means a new beginning that has to do with joy, creativity. Cups represent the heart. So this is like my cup overfloweth. My cup runneth over. It means having your heart so filled with emotion that it brings about peace. It attracts this dove of peace and joy. It represents having gone through any difficult, murky waters in the emotional world, and therefore this lotus blooms, a traditional Buddhist symbol of enlightenment. And an ace just means a new beginning of something that is going to fill your heart. And as you can see in the imagery of the card, it's sort of like the universe wants to hand this to you. And will you be in a position to receive it? Ace of Cups is an extremely positive card, much like World, where it seems like after this verdict is rendered, you're not so sure how you're going to get to that place of feeling like the universe supports you, but it shows an openness here to be willing to receive the love, the creativity, the passion, the fulfillment that the world is trying to hand to you. So I see a nice evolution in June, Aries. If you can get through your decision-making skills, maybe get some help, you'll get some success with that verdict rendered. See if you can confront what's really true in the middle of the month and employ some forgiveness. It'll really free you. And then see if you can let go of any take a break from any negative thinking that makes you feel powerless and start relying on your intuition. It's going to create a new beginning for you, Aries, that may really fill your heart. So June's going to be an interesting month for you. Maybe rocky at the beginning, but very, very promising towards the end. I hope you enjoyed that. That is your reading for your June 2016 Aries. And if you liked it, feel free to give it a like or share or subscribe. And as always, I just want to thank everyone for watching. Yours in the stars.